You're listening to the Microsoft Innovation Podcast, where we explore the intersection of people, business, and technology. This year, we're adding a new show to our lineup, The AI Advantage, to help you learn the skills you need to thrive in the AI era.
Welcome to the MVP Show. My intention is that you listen to the stories of these MVP guests and are inspired to become an MVP and bring value to the world through your skills. If you have not checked it out already, I do a YouTube series called How to Become an MVP. The link is in the show notes. With that, let's get on with the show. Today's guest is from Houston, Texas, in the United States. She works at Avanade as a group manager and product management in business and tech integration. She was first awarded her MVP in 2024. Her personal interests and hobbies include sport bike riding, stand-up comedy, I love that, craft beer, and yin yoga. You can find links to her bio and social media in the show notes for this episode. As always, welcome to the show, Tiffany.
Thank you so much. I'm so happy to be here.
I'm excited to have you on. I always like to start with food, family, and fun. What do they mean to you?
Ooh, food for sure. I do enjoy cooking. During the pandemic, there was an Indian restaurant that did classes. So for, some amount of money, you could go and you could pick up the ingredients and then you came home and then you over Zoom, you did some cooking. So I learned how to do some Indian cooking. So food for me it is important. I think that bleeds into family. So for me, I'm very big into family by choice. And the people that you share a meal with or that you invite over to your house, to me, those are people kind of more in your inner circle. And fun, I mean, you've already said it. I love to ride my motorcycle. I've got a great group of women that I ride with. We do a couple of rallies each year where we take our motorcycles to different places and ride them in a parade. So that's a lot of fun. I'm also in a bowling league.
Wow. Very diverse. It's a lot of choices to choose from there then for fun.
Yeah.
Tell me about the area of tech that you focus on.
Oh yeah, for sure. So I think the best way to say it is I do whatever's new with Microsoft. So I started in SharePoint, went to Power Platform. I still do migrations and intranet modernizations, but now everything is about Copilot, and Copilot is now at the center of the wheel. And so I'm now our Copilot evangelist. I'm a Copilot MVP. That's what my MVP and Copilot and SharePoint. And Viva. I know we kind of lost track of Viva, but I'm still a huge Engage fan, working with internal comms people. So pretty much employee experience. There are things I'm not super good at, like you probably wouldn't call me if you needed a Windows 11 upgrade or an Intune, but pretty much anything inside of that modern workplace space that is collaboration or knowledge management centered.
I like it. I want to unpack a comment that you made there, which was you work on whatever's new for Microsoft. Tell me about your philosophy behind that and why people really need to understand the importance of that, particularly if you consult in the space.
Yeah, for sure. Actually, it was Caruana last week at MVP Summit, and she put that slide up with Copilot in the middle. And that, for me, change management is so key when you're talking about Microsoft technologies. And the reason is because if Microsoft tells you you're going to the cloud, you're going to the cloud. If Microsoft says you're going to use Copilot, you're going to use Copilot. So I always say change isn't hard. It's fighting the change that kills you, right? That's what's going to exhaust you. So for me, I support whatever's new with Microsoft because that is the vision for the future. And so whether or not a CTO or a CIO wants to go there, eventually their business will insist on it. And at this point, you have to have an AI strategy.
I'm on board. I totally agree The interesting thing there in your comment, as in from a change and adoption perspective, is that for the first time in history, different than Microsoft Teams, right? No one was worried about Microsoft Teams replacing their job, right? But
yes,
people, when it comes to change, might be very concerned that AI, because we hear it in the news all the time, and then we hear kind of like, well, AI won't take your job, but somebody that's good at using AI will take your job. Where I'm of the opinion, I just published a post an hour ago, which says, no, AI is going to take your job. And therefore, what do you do? What do you do in that scenario? How do you help people that are fearful that AI will take their job? Because as you say, it's going to happen, as in, if you like, the technology is going to happen. People are going to make good use of it. People are going to innovate with it. But where does that leave people, let's say in 5 years' time, if you're in this information worker space?
Yeah. So I'm actually going to steal my answer from Aaron Reich. He is one of our leaders here at Avanade. And, he said to us something that was really interesting. And that was, in the mid 90s, could we imagine all the jobs that came out of Amazon? Right. So it's a matter of, similar to what you just said. It's going to, I'm not going to say it's going to take jobs, right? I would rather say it's going to make some jobs irrelevant or unnecessary. And so it is our responsibility, I believe, as tech advisors and good partners with our clients, to help them see the future of work. And the truth is, we're not so sure what that looks like yet. So for me, it's a huge opportunity for people to get into this space, learn as much as they can to help define that future.
Yeah. So important. And are you seeing kind of, if you think about skills that people should be adopting or developing now to kind of future ready themselves? I don't believe in future proof. I don't think that's possible anymore, because we just never know what's coming next. But how do you really gain new skills in an AI world from your perspective? And even the work that you've done with Copilot, what are you seeing that's really allowing people to upgrade their skill level using this tech?
Yeah, I think for me, you start with prompt engineering. You learn how to write a really good prompt, and you practice prompting. I mean, I want you to use prompts that might take you an hour to build. I want you to use prompts that aren't just an internet search, right? Because they named it Copilot for a reason, and it really is supposed to be like an assistant, somebody you can bounce ideas off of, somebody who can draft that first email, right? And these things seem so simple. I think what's stopping people is they're like, well, I can do this myself, so I might as well just do it myself. But to me, in the time it takes you to do it yourself, you could have crafted a prompt that increases the quality of what you can do yourself. It helps you not get distracted, right? Think about neurodivergence and ADHD. Really being able to focus on the task at hand and using that technology to benefit you. So for me, I feel like this is one of those, a rising tide lifts all boats. I do believe that yes, we will be able, forget about the taking jobs, because the truth is it's probably coming from, it's AI is coming for expensive resources. It's coming for white collar. It's coming for lawyers. It's coming for consultants. So think about, people who are just now entering their career, or entry level folks. It is going to help elevate their ability to do their job. And I think that someone who learns prompt engineering is the future of work. So that's where I would start.
I like it. I like it. What are you seeing in the projects that you're involved in, without revealing customers' names, etc.? But what are you seeing is working really well? Like, what are the scenarios that you see that people, obviously we've got the summarization of meetings, and we've now got agent assisted around meetings and things like that. And we've got things like, those drafting emails. But are you seeing stuff outside that arena where people are starting to get some massive benefits?
Yeah. So there are a couple of job functions and a couple of industries. So for me, I focus a lot on people who have to do a lot of research, so sales, marketing, and internal communications, people who have to technical writers, right? People who have to take a concept and try to understand it. So one of my favorite prompts is, tell me about this thing using an analogy, right? Like using a sports analogy or using, some kind of an analogy. So it allows me to understand something very quickly. So again, sales, marketing, internal communications, legal. I will tell you, actually, let me pick that as my number one. Our legal team at Avanade uses M365 Copilot, and they even have a custom agent where they've taken all of their approved contracts and language and all of that, and they're able to use Copilot to actually craft new writers or new pieces in the contract, but more importantly, review a contract that a client has brought back with a comment and ask Copilot, what are the risks in me accepting this wording? So I think risk management is a huge place where I would expect to see M365 Copilot. So corporate communications, but also risk management.
I like it. I like it. And so relevant. And it's great to hear that legal use case, because it's something that I'm coming across a lot as well. In fact, my neighbor's a lawyer, and she was like, oh, it feels a bit like I'm cheating. And, when I use it, but my wife raised a certain interesting point, and she was like, well, but as a lawyer, whether what it's returning is correct, where if I wrote that same prompt and got that result, I don't know, because I don't have the legal profession, right? So I'm just guessing that it's got it right, so it's not cheating, because there's no way I could validate what came out, because I'm not trained in that area of law that you focus on. And so I do think that there needs, and I think it'll fall away naturally, this kind of concept of, is it cheating? Should I, I think that all of us.
Well, and it's also, am I supposed to divulge that Copilot did this, right? Like, and I think that's where the concept of cheating is coming in, is people are kind of ashamed that they used it, right? And so I agree that feeling needs to fall away.
Yeah, but it's interesting. It is. It totally does. Like, if I write a blog post, I'm dyslexic, and so therefore I don't do good via keyboard input, right? So what I do, I take my iPhone, I go outside, and I have a concept, and I will record for 30 minutes into just the recording app on my iPhone. And I just download my thoughts, and it's, because I'm neurodivergent, it's all over the place, right? And then I take it, I use Whisper, I have it, transcribed out into text. Then I will give that to a Copilot and say, hey, can you see the patterns in what I'm talking about? What's the structure of this? What's the core point? And so, was it AI written, or? Well, I think it's a very much an assisted process, right? It was all my original thought. It just structured my thinking. And I like your term before, you mentioned analogies, and how analogies are so important in communication. And to know your audience, you're going to change the analogy so the message lands. And I think AI is massively powerful in assisting in that scenario.
Yeah, 100%. And I think we need more of this. I think instead of being scared about it, I think we need more companies to start creating think tanks around AI and how the company can use it. And even if here's what I think is going to happen. You're going to come up with things that just can't be done yet, right? But you're going to put that on a roadmap so that when the technology is ready for you, you already know how you're going to use it. I think that's what happened with M365 Copilot is people kind of got blindsided by it. It just kind of showed up in the market and there was no real clear understanding other than this blanket statement that AI is going to make your business better. Well, that's not very helpful. I need to know how. So what we're hearing from clients is they want to know the industry specific use cases because they need to understand from a total cost of ownership how having AI is going to impact their bottom line. So even Microsoft says this. Think about every product Microsoft has ever rolled out. They always roll out something for productivity. And then we get into business and business realizes you can't measure productivity. And in fact, somebody last week said, I'm sick and tired of you telling me that it's going to make me more productive. I am a highly productive person. I don't want to hear that I need to get more work done with less. That is not what I want to hear. But if you tell me that I can stop working 10-hour days, or if you can tell me that I won't feel guilty taking every other Friday off, right? Whatever that is, don't make me more productive. Get me out of working overtime.
Yeah, it's so true, right? Is that so many people, that are productive work way too many hours, way more than perhaps even what they're paid for in most situations. And this is going to allow balance to that, right? Spend more time with family. I just like that idea. It means I can get home, pick my kids up from school or daycare in my case. I love that, right? And it's that productivity. Even just before this, I've got a website that I need designed. It was in my diary to do just one task, write a design brief. I went to AI. I said, hey, I need a website design. This is the audience. This is what I want to achieve. This is the parameters. And I'm going to be posting it on I use a tool called 99 Designs for my design work. And graphic designers bid on doing that work. Now, if I had tried that 2 years ago, I would have needed a lot more than the 20 minutes it took me to do that brief. Right. But it allowed me to get stuff done. And I really like that concept of it allows you to get stuff done now. And I think, it's amazing. Tell me about your highlight from MVP Summit this year.
Well, let me go back real quick and then I'll come back to that. I believe that I know that what AI does for me is I stop fearing tasks that I'm not good at. And so I will actually bite off the task that I know AI can help me with, which is typically something I would have procrastinated to do because maybe I'm not good at it, right? Those are the tasks I'm not good at that I can't do in 30 minutes. But now I'm like, you know what? I'm going to let AI help me do this. And something I thought was going to take me an hour, of course, just takes me that 15 or 20 minutes. So I just wanted to validate what you were saying there. Yeah, as far as what I took away from MVP Summit, I'm going to tell you something that one of the presenters said that blew my mind. He was talking about Power Pages and, where the data comes from, for Power Pages. And he just flippantly, just like everybody already felt this way, he says, well, eventually we won't need lists. And my brain just broke because he's right. What happens in a world where it doesn't matter where it is in the database, right? Like where the list can be created on demand and then automate a task, and then that list, we don't have to store it anymore. You don't have to store that list anywhere anymore. And I just think, man, what a future. If we can consistently make it so that we don't need a list, we just got better, didn't we?
I think it applies to navigation as well.
Yeah.
Well, we need navigation, right? As long as the data's there and it's accessible, produce it in the format that relevant to whatever I'm doing right now. I think it is. That's what I like, those nuggets, those kind of sound bites that kind of become pivot points in your thinking, right? And it allows you to switch paradigms and move forward. I think you've given a brilliant example of one of the benefits of going to Summit and hanging around amazing people. Final thoughts. What's the value of the MVP program to you?
So this was my first year. And so when I gave my feedback to other MVPs, they said, that's what it's like your first year, right? But it gets better. So I don't want to say I was disappointed in it. It was just, and I think Microsoft takes responsibility for this too. Microsoft is no longer brave enough to give MVPs information before they're ready to announce it. So my disappointment was I felt like this was just another opportunity for Microsoft to announce things, because they were literally presenting something to us and we asked when it was going to come out and they're like, the announcement's going to come out in 2 hours, or it's going to be in GA next week. And I'm like, well, then what am I doing here, right? Other than to be kind of a marketing engine. And so I think for me, the value I expected to get out of MVP Summit, and what I think will happen in future years, is as I develop those relationships with the product team, apparently there are things where there are like side conversations or side meetings where you're able to actually contribute to the life cycle or the path of a product. And so I think for me, the value is, and I'm trying to be altruistic about it, it's my ability to take my client's stories directly to the product team. And if that's all I get out of this program, it was worth it.
Hey, thanks for listening. I'm your host, Business Application MVP Mark Smith, otherwise known as the NZ365 Guy. If you like the show and want to be a supporter, check out buymeacoffee.com/NZ365 Guy. Thanks again, and see you next time.
Are you ready to accelerate your career in the Microsoft ecosystem? The 90-Day Mentoring Challenge, created by Mark Smith, is your opportunity to create a personalized pathway to success. Join over 1,200 alumni from more than 70 countries who have achieved remarkable results, from promotions to new job opportunities. Take it from Nathan, who said, since completing the 90-Day Mentoring Challenge, I've become an MVP in business applications and doubled my income. Or from Parvez, who shares, I've never felt as inspired or energized about my career as I do now. Sign up at arcor.nz365guy.com. You can find the link in the show notes. And if you use the code podcast, you'll get 10% off.